Hello everybody, you're welcome back again to the Reggae Appreciation Society. The 1970s are rightfully regarded as the peak period of reggae as an art form, an astonishing decade that simply overwhelmed the world with so many timeless, brilliant and incredible songs. But even from that legendary epoch, one of the most enduring and greatest songs which will be forever associated with the best of 1970s reggae is the amazing and sublime Police and Thieves by falsetto singer Junior Murvin. A stunning and magical collision of Murvin's angelic voice with the mythical mastermind of the great Lee Scratch Perry. The song literally set dance floors and radio airwaves alight when it hit the streets in 1976, a year that's in my opinion Reggae's greatest ever. But the song still shined extremely brightly and caused the biggest names in music to stop in their tracks at the brilliance of Junior Murvin. Interestingly, the inspiration for that song was a byproduct of the atrocious violence that swept Jamaica in the build-up to the island's general elections. But as is well known, adversity has always been a driving force behind great art. The song would not only make incredible impact in Jamaica, but became the UK's underground national anthem in the wake of the Notting Hill Carnival riots that also took place in the same year. The song catapulted Murvin into global superstardom and has since been included in several movie soundtracks, not to mention covers by artists over the years, especially the punk rock scene that adopted it as one of their own. He was on the cusp of one phenomenal career, but a strange combination of factors would restrain him from a truly prolific life in music. Let's take a look at what happened to the great Junior Murvin. He was born Murvin Junior Smith in a sleepy village called Swift River, deep in the eastern parish of Portland in Jamaica. But while still a baby, he was sent to the home of his great-grandmother in the bustling coastal market town of Port Antonio, as his father had passed away and his mother had moved to England to pursue a career in nursing. His first interaction with music was at his local Methodist church, but he was then too shy to join the choir. But while he was shy in church, he loved singing along to American R&B songs that he listened to at home on the radio. And by the age of 6, his neighbors were admirers of his voice and would pay him coins to imitate American artists like Billy Eckstine and Louis Armstrong. And as he got older, he would wow audiences at local talent shows. By the time he was entering his teens, his great-grandma passed away and he was sent to live with his grandmother in a place called Glendavon in Montego Bay. He enrolled at Montego Bay Technical High School, where he got training to become an automobile mechanic. But after strong performances at the Christmas concert at the Palladium Theatre, everyone around him told him to take his music seriously. And when his aunt in the US sent him a guitar, it was on and cracking. He would spend hours every day after school, playing and writing songs under a tree, while he blazed some herb in between. And he got his first opportunity around 1963 when an elderly Rasta in the neighborhood told him that popular saxophonist Alfonso Roland was holding auditions at a nearby Rasta camp. And he rushed over there quickly to audition for Alfonso, who was impressed with his voice and invited the 17-year-old to audition at Beverly's Records in Kingston for producer Leslie Kong. So he snuck out of the house and made his way to Kingston for the audition, and he would pass it in flying colors. But his no-nonsense grandmother caught wind of his plans and summoned him back to Montego Bay immediately before he could record. But when he turned 19, he returned to Kingston to audition for Studio One, but got turned down. But determined to make it in music, he went over to stay with an aunt that lived at Greenwich Street in Trentstown. His relocation to that amazing hub of musical energy was a masterstroke as he became close friends with the Wailers, Toots and the Maytals, Alton Ellis, Stranger Cole, and many other future greats, and he would learn incredible lessons from just living around them, and even got a stage name Junior from singer Stranger Cole. And he would model his trademark falsetto singing style after American singer Curtis Mayfield, and he would hone it to perfection. After recording for various producers, including Sonia Pottinger, under the name Junior Soul, he would earn a living performing with different bands on Kingston's nightclub and hotel circuits. As the 1970s unfolded, rocksteady had given way for reggae, along with its spiritually and socially conscious themes, which Junior Murvin would embrace wholeheartedly. In 1976, Jamaica descended into chaos in the build-up to that year's elections, as supporters of its two main political parties waged war in the streets. And the whole mess would inspire Junior Murvin to write the song Police and Thieves, about the gang violence and police brutality. And he knew exactly who he wanted to produce it. Eccentric producer genius Lee Scratch Perry had in that period just opened up his now legendary Black Ark Studios, and had just created Max Romeo's classic monster hit, War in a Babylon. Murvin auditioned for Perry and sang Police and Thieves while playing his acoustic guitar. Perry loved it and added a few lyrics of his own before sending Murvin into the recording booth, backed by his elite studio backing band, The Upsetters, which had the likes of Sly Dunbar, Boris Gardner, Ernest Ranglin, and Keith Sterling. And when Police and Thieves hit the street in May that year, it became a super smash hit in Jamaica and became the biggest selling record in the country. For its overseas release, it was distributed by Island Records, which released it globally by July. The timing of its release coincided with that year's edition of the Caribbean Annual Festival in London, popularly called the Notting Hill Carnival. That particular year's edition was marked by disturbances and unrest, which saw riots and severe clashes between the revelers and the police over several hours. And this incident saw the song becoming a monster hit in Britain and one of the most popular songs of the year. And that song was covered by punk rock band The Clash. Murvin's debut album, which was also titled Police and Thieves, would come out in 1977 and was a critically acclaimed masterpiece that became known as part of the trinity of Lee Scratch Perry's greatest productions, along with War in a Babylon by Max Romeo and Party Time by the Heptones. Police and Thieves would also be included on the soundtrack of 1978 classic movie Rockers. Island Records would undertake to issue his follow-up album and commission Lee Scratch Perry to start the project. The label had big plans for Junior Murvin's career, but unfortunately, that year, 1979, was the period when Perry would suffer a dramatic emotional and mental breakdown that saw him burn down his legendary Black Ark studio, along with many original master tapes, including songs meant for Murvin's follow-up album. A very serious blow, but he took it in his stride and went on to pitch his tent at Joe Gibbs' studio, where he released the hit track Cool Out Son in 1980. Work would begin on songs for an album, but calamity also hit Joe Gibbs' establishment after a string of armed robberies and a crippling lawsuit that brought down Joe Gibbs' career as a producer. Broken-hearted at the whole situation, Murvin moved back to Port Antonio, where he resumed a weekly gig with an in-house band at the Dragon Bay Hotel. However, Police and Thieves made a comeback to the UK charts in 1980 and would be named as a reggae single of the year. So Murvin was flown into the UK to make an appearance on the classic TV music show Top of the Pops and spent months in England that year doing lots of shows. So his next albums, Bad Man Posse and Muggers in the Streets, which came out in 1982 and 1985 respectively, were of high quality, but sadly they didn't become commercial hits. By that time, roots reggae had taken a backseat to dancehall in the wake of Bob Marley's death in 1981. It's been said that his refusal to do slackness also affected his sales. He released 3 more albums by the year 2000, but by then he was suffering health challenges in the form of hypertension and diabetes. Though he would make sporadic appearances in reggae festivals around the globe, his career has slowed down dramatically. By then, he was more interested in doing charitable works, like building schools in his home area of Portland. He was a true pillar of his community until he sadly passed away at Port Antonio Hospital on December 2nd, 2013 of diabetic complications at the age of 67. A truly incredible artist and human being who's mostly remembered as a one-hit wonder, but on the flip side, the creator of one of the greatest reggae songs ever recorded. I'm certain that Junior Murvin would have become an even bigger star if not for all the setbacks that would derail his trajectory, but all the same, an amazing icon whose brilliance we are all fortunate to have witnessed. So there you have it. Thank you for watching the video today. Please leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, God bless.